You're such an asshole.
AssholeConsulting.com. We have a bit of a sad macabre story request, and if anyone out there can help this guy, but I'm sure scientists and doctors are on it. But right now, it's throw anything up against the wall and hope this helps. Young man writes, "Hey asshole, please keep me anonymous. I just finished high school online after dropping out because of health issues. I'm not going to college. I have an online business that makes about $2,000 per month, and I have $31,000 in savings. My IQ is 127. I'm an 18-year-old boy who's a minimalist. I pay my parents for rent, and I'm probably getting my own place in January. When I was 15, I started having trouble walking. I recently found out from a neurologist and a genetic test that I have a rare disease that 1 in 29,000 people of European descent get. I first got symptoms at 15. The doctors are telling me that 15 to 20 years after the first symptoms appear, all patients are left wheelchair bound. Also, you die shortly after that. It would be unheard of if I make it to 42 like you. I like movies, music, and road trips. My question is, what the fuck should I do with the time I have left? Girls are out of the question, not only for obvious reasons, but through a program I met a very beautiful girl who has this disease too, and I thought, yeah, you thought. You thought, but you weren't Mr. 6'3", eyes of blue, coochie, 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 coo. What is it? I thought we were going to be able to relate, but she was just the standard hot shit. They're all the same. Yeah, dude, in your situation, I would not even bother with, you know, like, hey, if they come along, it's one thing. Look, guys who are going to live a normal life expectancy, the best medicine for them, the best philosophy or policy is, I'm going this way. You are welcome to come along. But I'm going this way. And you're going not only can you come along, but if you're going to come along, you're going to shut the fuck up and you're going to endorse and support me in this route, not criticize. And that is for guys regardless. You have even less time. And so I know, especially every guy here will vouch, especially when we were your age, we pissed away all of our time on girls. I mean, it was not a good investment. And given your age, given the quality and caliber of millennial or Gen Z gals, I would not waste your time. Your life is too short and too precious for that. Literally, meaning, I mean, it means literally for people with normal life expectancies, but especially so in your case. Do not waste your time chasing after girls. You got more important shit to do, like live your life. They're all the same. I was able to escape the lives of the baby boomers, Gen X, and my teachers, but I didn't appreciate the normal life enough, so I got taken away from it. Yeah, but you didn't know this is coming down the pipe. I mean, so I wouldn't blame yourself about this. That's just the way it is. In my life, I'm not throwing a pity party for myself. I'm exercising daily and eating healthy. I just don't know what to do. This shit is kind of fucked up. I'm legitimately depressed, and sometimes I sleep from 10 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. just because I can't stand to think about it. Well, yeah, that's okay. You're normal. That's normal. I would say that's mentally healthy, even though I'm no psychologist. But yeah, you should be depressed. If you find out you're going to die in 2 decades, not to mention be wheelchair bound, you absolutely should be depressed. So the silver lining of that cloud is you're sane, which means you're going to be able to better assess this problem and deal with it than someone who is delusional. You know, just think about the woman who still thinks she's hot at 42, my age. And I got news for you. Women at 42 are not high. Every great once in a while you get like, eh. But then they go on and ruin the rest of their lives. Like, oh, the gal that wrote Eat, Pray, Love, Suck, Fuck, Lick, or whatever the fuck the name. And then she finds out she's lesbian, even though she dumped her husband for the foreigner guy. But then she ended up dumping the foreigner guy for... I mean, that's the kind of life of ruin you live when you are not sane. So, in a sense, and I'm not saying this just to make you feel better, but to put things in perspective, if the fact you're sane means you're going to live a better life than people who are not, and there's an increasingly high motherfucking percentage of those people in this world, right? So, the fact you are grounded in reality means your decisions are going to be more effective, and you can live a better life than the average person. It's just, we don't have time for touchy-feely, maybe, no. You got 2 decades left on this planet, motherfucker, and you are going to make every one of those fucking things count. Exercise, and you're depressed. Okay, because I just can't stand to think of it. Right, okay. Well, talk to a therapist about that, and Hopefully we can get you out of that depression. Sometimes I have dreams at night about being in a wheelchair and I wake up screaming and punching the bed frame. 4 of my friends have had painful deaths in the last... Good Lord! That's horrible. 4 of your friends have had painful deaths in the last 7 months. I just don't know what the fuck to do. Let me know how much for this video. So you provide me some more. The rundown of the disease is that about 1 out of every few thousand people has something wrong on their 9th chromosome, and they are what is known as a silent carrier. So if 2 of these ignoramuses produced, there are 3 things that can happen. 50% chance you are a silent carrier, 25% chance you are perfectly fine, and a 25% chance you have this disease. What happens is in the 9th chromosome is GAA keeps repeating, and you result in a deficiency of frataxin cells in the cerebellum. I was a totally normal kid. Then I just started feeling funky when I was 15. This is a progressive disease that affects coordination and balance of the whole body. What happens over the span of 15 to 20 years is you have a hard time keeping your balance when you walk. Then your legs get smaller. Then you have a hard time speaking clearly. Yeah, you lose all your motor skills. Then you are in a wheelchair. Then your arms get small. Then you have to be institutionalized. And then you die of heart disease in your 30s. Fuck! Now to answer all your questions, I can type and probably can for 10 to 15 more years. I can walk and probably can for 10 more years. I can do anything right now. I'm just feel physically uncomfortable. I could probably hike for 2 to 3 more years. I could travel until I have to be institutionalized because you could still drive with this. It's not paraplegia. I have never liked running even when I was a normal kid, but probably can for 2 to 3 more years. Thanks for being America's older brother. Okay. So, I had to sit down, and my apologies for being a little bit delayed, but I wanted to sit down and think this one through. You are very fortunate in one regard, and that is you are self-employed. And that, imagine if you were your average 18-year-old kid who's debt-laden and didn't have no money, or made very little money. You would not have the opportunity to go and have fun at all. But the fact you're self-employed, I think you can do your work over the internet, you said, and you'll be able to type. That is going to take care of one huge fucking problem, and that is your finances. All right? Inevitably, you're going to end up on disability, I'd imagine, but again, you're going to want to talk to, well, hit me up later on, because if you collect disability, then you can't be working, so there's, you know, it's and or, so before you get to that point, you're going to want to make sure. But that is going to, and put this in perspective, that is going to basically allow you to retire now. All right? My self-employment, people's self-employment allow people to retire now, especially with the internet. So what I would do is take a view of your life that you are now 60 and you're going to live the last 15 to 20 years of your life retired. If you think about it, I'm trying to put a positive spin on it, and I know it sucks that you're taking, 4 decades of your life away, but most people, again, compare yourself to most people, they live sucky lives. They suck. Their lives suck. And their dream, their happy part is to get to retirement, but they fucked up everything else. They fucked it up. From 5 to 22, you're in college and school, and that fucking sucks. Then you're getting out of college and paying off debts. Then you got debt more, and you got to work the sucky job. Life fucking sucks for most people. So the good news is that you're going to avoid the suck because of your ingenuity or innovation or your creativity or entrepreneurship, and you're going to go straight to the better years of life. And what's worse is a lot of these old fucks, these retired people, they still fuck it up. They still fuck up retirement. Depression goes up. Suicides go up because they don't have any purpose or agency. You have a mission and a goal, and that is you're going to live out your retirement having as much fucking fun as possible. And your goal is to live a better life than most people. And I contest that is absolutely possible because I remember graduating from college, and people think I just say this because I like tooting my own horn. No, I knew I was like at 22 and I sat there, I looked at what I did, and I said, holy shit, I've done more than most people ever will in their lifetimes. And I mean working full-time, going to school full-time, not having debt, acing. The performance I had put together was more of a Herculean performance than the average person will ever achieve in their life. And so it kind of puts things in context, just how far off to the right of the Bell distribution curve you are. You are going to ensure that even though you have a fraction of the life that the average person has, that you're going to live a better life than your peers and the average person. I think that's absolutely 100% possible because we have knowledge and reality and we are going to accept the truth. All right, you got diagnosed, you know this is the deal, you have a certain amount of time, and we are not fucking around. And whether through the good graces of God, if you believe in the afterlife, or because of your entrepreneurship, you are now going to be allowed to do pretty much whatever the fuck you want. I mean, I know there's going to be budgetary limitations, but with that, $2,000 a month and you being a minimalist, dude, you're going to have what was my 30s, where I'm like, fuck work, fuck reality, I'm sick of this shit for once in my life, I'm going to go out and do whatever the fuck I want, and the 30s was my best decade ever. 40s is even better than the 30s now, but anyway, that's what you're going to do. So what we got to do is we got to triage things based on your physical ability to do so. Obviously right now, while you can physically do shit, I recommend you do that. Now, what is that? We don't like running. Okay, I understand running is boring. You don't do what you don't want to do. You could be selfish now. But I would strongly recommend, if there's anything physical you'd like to do, you do it while you can. So this may mean hiking, this may be mountain climbing, this may be swimming, maybe cycling, pedal biking, maybe motorcycle riding. All right? That's what I recommend you do. Even kayaking, if you have a physical itch to scratch, go do it. Even if you don't, I would still strongly recommend that you visit the following places and hike around in them: Badlands National Park, Canyonlands National Park. I'm not that big fan of Rocky Mountain or Banff, or not Banff, Glacier. Grand Canyon it's big. You look at it. I don't know if you really want to check that. It takes a long way to get there. And I'd also look at Banff and Jasper if you're in the hiking mood. All right. If you're not in a hiking mood, you can still drive to those things later on down the road. If you want to go to Europe, go to Europe. If you want to do kayaking, river raft, whatever it is, I don't know you too well personally. That's what I'm going to recommend you do. All right. So you come up with your get your bucket list, and you're going to do the physical stuff. As your body deteriorates, you're going to be limited, so you can't be doing the physical stuff. That doesn't mean you can't do machine-assisted cool shit. Motorcycles, you need balance, all right, which you may not have. But if you can drive, you may want to get one of these slingshots, or get a Spider, a Can-Am Spider, which is one of those three-wheeled. The two wheels are in the front, the one wheel is in the back. Those, I'm pretty sure, I think it was state by state, but I'm pretty sure most states you don't need a motorcycle license to do that. And the riding of a motorcycle-like vehicle is going to be very liberating. It's as close to flying as a non-pilot can get. And I cannot emphasize looking into motorcycle riding or getting one of those tripod three-wheeled vehicles. So that's what I would do. Then you can, and again, if you don't like hiking, now you could cruise to these places. You could do Highway 128 by Moab. You could do the stretch between Banff and Jasper, Highway 29. You could drive out. So I think that would be something where it's still free, it's still wind blowing through your hair, except Canada, because you got to wear a helmet all the time because the pussy's up there. But it's the wide open road and a freedom that most people won't have. Now, again, you're going to slowly atrophy to the point that you will be wheelchair bound, and what you're going to have to do then is you're going to have to develop intellectual interests. And here we're going to use Stephen Hawking as kind of a model. Right? Stephen Hawking, the guy who, I don't know what disease he has, but he's been wheelchair bound, I think, forever. Yet his mind is unlimited. His mind has gone everywhere. And so the world you want to start developing now, in anticipation to the point you can't enjoy things physically anymore, is that you're intellectually stimulated. And even though, obviously, we would like to have our physical abilities, no doubt, man, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot in life to learn about intellectually. And now that I'm older, of course, I can say this because I have the physique. I'd say I'm probably starved for intellectualism, and so I've gone down a path of just consuming hordes of podcasts, flying to different places to converse with people I truly appreciate and enjoy, and find intellectually stimulating. And so you got to prepare your brain by developing interests that will stimulate your mind, so that you're not just bored there feeling sorry for yourself and contemplating your imminent demise. You got to be... So these are just some ideas I came up with. There's philosophy, history. My gosh, start getting... And do it now, because while you're going out driving and exploring, there's a lot of fucking nothingness in between the United States. There's a lot of open... Have you been in Nebraska? you're going to want to consume a ton of podcasts and whatever intellectual stimulus. So history, astronomy, philosophy, humor. I think humor would be great. Download the Bill Burr podcast. Get humor. Listen to get people stand up on tape. And then I would also maybe start developing writing if you like it, if you think you enjoy writing, because it would allow you to leave a legacy of some kind behind if you had something you wanted to say. But that's more proactive, where everything else is consumptive or consumption of data information. But what you're going to want to do is start exploring while you're going out into the world and exploring, is start to develop intellectual pursuits and hobbies and interests to keep your mind occupied, to keep your mind, and that will keep your spirits up, and it also gives you point, agency, and reason to live. It does. Because I'll tell you this, after a while, hiking does get boring, driving across the country does get boring because you've seen it all. And then it's like, okay, what's the last frontier? It's the mind. So that's what I was, something, it doesn't have to be those that I listed. It's anything that interests you intellectually. All right. Now, during all this time, I would recommend, you hear these stories and it's worth a shot. See what you can do. Certainly do this. Find out what it is that you can do to delay the onset of this disease. You always hear those anecdotal stories, anecdotal that they are, they still do happen, where, heck, I got one buddy, he was given 6 months to live, and then he changed his diet all crazy like, and now he's still around and kicking like 10 years later. See if there's something that you can do your own research, but at the same time, don't waste your life, because if you truly are condemned with this disease, wasting half your life futilely studying for a cure is not going to help. So part of your intellectual pursuits, I would recommend, is going online and seeing what people have. Because you got nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. Someone says, hey, yeah, spray Windex on the palm of your hand. I'm like, yeah, sure, why the hell not? Give it a shot. Find out what the latest medical research on this disease is, and see what other people are trying to do to figure out how to solve it. Because I know doctors and Merck and everybody else are trying to maybe solve it, but the people who have the most vested interest in it, and that would be the people infected with this disease, are going to probably know right up. They'll be able to get you up to speed on what the latest developments are. And maybe with that IQ of yours, you might have an idea that might actually cure the disease or stop it or slow it down or something. But do some research. Find out what you can do that's within your power to stop it or slow it down, or at least delay it, so that you have more time on this planet and you can enjoy it. And then finally, the last thing that you have to do, and it's the hardest part now because you just have to accept, is one of acceptance. I'm a 5'8" guy. I'm short. I have to accept that. I'm trying to think what else. My family is prone to cancer. We have to accept that. I will probably get cancer. When I get cancer, there's no fighting it. I have to accept it. Meteorite comes out of the sky, clonks you in the head. You have to accept it. You are going to waste more energy and time that you don't have. You really don't have it to piss away and waste on ruining and lamenting your fate. All right? Every second of your life right now should be spent on good stuff, not over spilled milk, not over things that are outside of our control. And I'm sure you've gone down this road. I'm sure you're processing through the stages of grief. But I cannot iterate that enough. The alcoholic's prayer, or was it the prayer of serenity? Grant me the wisdom to accept what I do not control. I cannot emphasize how important that is to having a happy and serene and peaceful and content life. All right, like today, I was almost getting angry at traffic. I'm like, no, this is what it is. This is the sheeple. The sheeple have to share the road with the sheep, and there's no reason for me to get angry because I'm not going to get there any sooner. Same thing here, except much more dire consequences. All right, you do not want to deny, have vain hope, or get angry. And I understand 100%, everybody understands 100% why you would be angry, why you would be punching your bed frame. Absolutely, it's perfectly understandable. What I'm trying to do is accelerate you to the point where you're not wasting your time with that anymore. because you just don't have the time. You don't have the time. It's better spent like, yeah, you know what? Not going to get in a bad mood. Not going to let my fate ruin. Because here's another thing. Look at it this way. Let's say I'm fated to get hit by a car 10 years from now, which is shorter life expectancy than you have. Well, the good news is I'm ignorantly blissful about it, and I'm not going to worry about, like, you know, it's guaranteed to happen. I just don't know it yet. That bliss, that ignorance is going to make sure that I live my next 10 years happy. But if I knew that it was coming, well, yeah, I'd probably be pretty miserable, but I would have to inevitably get myself to a point like, yep, that second, that day is coming. That truck is going to jump the curb no matter what I do, and I'm going to be dead. I am not going to let it ruin this last 10 years of my life on this planet. I'm going to enjoy my 10 years of life on this planet. So if you can get to that mental state now, where it's like, yes, this is the shitty hand I was dealt, and you only get dealt one hand in this life, I'm going to play it the best I can. And the worst mistake you can make, the worst move you can make in this card game is getting pissed off about something you don't control. Because it's just going to lessen what remainder of life you have on this planet. And so that's kind of the general philosophy, recommendation, triage, priority list that I would do. So, you know, put together your bucket list, do whatever you can physically, do whatever you can do, machine assisted, motorcycle. Soon, you know, ideally, it would be really nice to have self-driving cars and you'd be all right. And then, but then prepare yourself mentally so that when you are in that wheelchair and you can no longer do physical things, you do have a vast interest and array of intellectual pursuits and interests that will keep you occupied. And then just, you know, again, your goal is to live a better life than the average person. And with your IQ of 126, your self-employment, and the fact you know the parameters of this game, and you're not fucking around anymore, I really do believe you can live a better life, much better life than the average person. Of course, this isn't no offense to you. It's not a testament to your greatness. It's a testament to how shitty most people live, just how much they piss away their lives. You're not going to piss away your life. Your ultimate goal is this, that when you inevitably pass away, you're not going to have any regrets. That's your ultimate goal. You say, you know what? I did my best and I had a grand old time. Man, it was fun driving Highway 93. Captain knew what he was talking about. Or that fucker Captain made me drive all the way out to Utah and I got bit by a scorpion and I hate Utah. I don't know what the great thing about Canyon is. But then you found out you like Zion National Park instead. Your goal is to have no regrets when you die. And that right there is more of a life plan than most people, because most people just they wander through it cluelessly, no clue what they're doing, right? You're not going to be that guy. You got a mission, and that is to have as much fucking fun as possible while you're still on this planet. I think you can do it. Anyway, if anyone down below has a medical cure or something, that'd be awesome. My heart does go out to you. I feel real bad, but let's not mire in pity. Let's go out and kick some ass. All right. So anyway, best of luck to you guys. Toodles.